Well, hello. I'm so glad you joined me. Welcome to another episode with Chatting It Up with CJ. That's me. I'm going to talk to you about being good to yourself, how to take it easy on yourself when you're caregiving. There's a lot of things to consider. There's a lot of things to think about. But in these 5 tips that I'm going to share with you, these are just things that I realized that made things a little bit easier for me. It took me a while to figure out, but I think the key thing that you really need to do, we'll make this a preface to the 5 tips, is that you need to really observe your loved one. Find out what makes them tick. When is a good time? When's not a good time? Um, get to know their character. With Are they sleeping late? Are they sleeping in? Are some days better than others? With my mom, I will give as an example. My mom seemed to have better days on Tuesdays. And for myself, Mondays and Fridays were just too hectic for me. I've never liked Monday. I don't know anybody that really enjoys Monday, but I didn't want to be off the heels of something relaxing over the weekend, maybe a family event or something. But I didn't want to have the hustle and bustle of a Monday on my shoulders. So I preferred to go and select Tuesdays and Wednesdays, maybe even a Thursday, as the days that I would set aside for key things with my mom. So once you figure things out like that, then you can at least start to plan things out. And hopefully you're a planner. If you're not, you might want to consider doing that. First of all, you want to schedule any type of doctor's appointments or anything that's pertinent that needs to be taken care of. You need to figure out what are the calm days for your loved one. You may even want to consider the calm days for you. Again, my calm days for doctor's appointments or uh, anything that would be significant with my mom would be on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And the reason why I didn't pick Friday is because, well, everybody's wanting to get home. So chances are the offices will be closed earlier and people drive weirder on Fridays. I don't know. And Mondays, like I said, I never really liked it. And people are just getting back into the swing of things. So, the moods might be better at the doctor's office or wherever I might be heading with my mom. I think that's just in general. So, number one, figure out the calm days that would work with you for any type of scheduled event. Number two, select a day to do the heavy, burdensome things that you need to take care of, like cooking, doing laundry, maybe going to the grocery store. Um, it's key that some people can multitask and they can do it well. However, nobody is saying that you need to be a superhero and wear yourself out. In these key days, when there are no appointments to attend, you may want to consider making those days as alternates for your laundry, um, for going to the grocery store. But the goal is to do things in a regimented way that it stays calm and steady for you. Because let's face it, if something is up with you, you can't give your best to your loved one who you're caring for. So it's very important that you guys stay even and in the same energy level. And speaking of energy, I, I don't want to, uh, example, if I were to get my mom ready for something and we had a time constraint, a lot of times I think, okay, well, I can get this done. I can get this done. But while I'm doing I can get this done, my mom is in turtle mode. She's very slow. And I was in a rabbit mode. I was like hurry up, hurry up. And what it did is it created a form of anxiety for my mom. And I didn't want to do that to her. But let's face it, that's what was happening. And the weird thing is, and I still don't know what that was, but she had like some sort of seizure because the anxiety and the stress that I was presenting to her with my energy level was creating her to shut down. And when I mean shut down, it was scary. It was scary in the sense that I couldn't figure out what is happening. And the first time I thought, oh my God, she's dying. Well, her body shut down and she went into herself, like all her muscles tensed up. She started sweating and it was cold sweat. She wasn't hot. It was cold sweat. And it was just like she couldn't function. And I panicked. I was by myself. And after she finally came to in 5 minutes or so, she wouldn't remember anything, but she would say, I'm so tired because it took everything out of it. And she just wanted to go to bed. And my day was shot. And for her, she had to almost replenish her energy. It was the strangest thing. And it happened at least 2 or 3 times that I could recall. And I realized I can't do that to her. She can't operate in my energy level. And I was only thinking about myself getting the task done. I should have thought about her. So I had to rethink how I was going to approach days that had appointments and times. So in that, I would bathe her and wash her hair the night before. And the day of, the really minimal things had to be done. Maybe I'd give her a washcloth to clean her up, and I would have her clothes all set out for her so that it would be a lot more calmer and smooth. I had to learn that. It's no fault on my mom, but it was everything about me and knowing what to do. So I say the same thing, that goes with scheduling and rushing. You don't want to do that. And select days to do all the heavy tasks that need to be done at home. Consider that. Another thing that you want to consider is the me time, self-care. It sounds ridiculous and you probably won't think about it as it's happening, but I will say this. I knew when I needed respite. I didn't understand it in the beginning, but please take the time for yourself, because what ends up happening if you don't do it, you start having a short fuse, short tempered. Your patience level is gone. It evaporates. And I think it's so important for you to recognize when you start losing your temper or you're short fused or things seem a little bit more complicated. It's because you're tired. You're mentally tired. You're exhausted. You may not think you are. You may say that you're not, but your body is basically speaking to you. I need a break. And what you usually do is if you can't have a friend or a family member come in and sit for you, then hire somebody for a couple of hours and just do something for you. It could be anything. But what it is a moment for you to gather yourself together where you're not thinking about caregiving, where you're not thinking about taking care of your loved one, that you can actually escape for a few hours and be you. Because a lot of times the caregivers that I deal with, we've all said the same thing. I feel like I'm losing myself. I feel like I'm there, but I can't find myself. I think a caregiver that might hear this might understand that. And not only that, it's very isolating. Not everybody understands everything that you're going through. And why would they? They're not doing what you're doing. But caring for yourself and caring for your loved one takes a lot out of you. And so I encourage you. Matter of fact, I insist that you take time for yourself, if not once a week, every 2 weeks, but take time for you to relax. Put your feet up, watch a movie, Go somewhere, go to the beach, go to the mountain, go to the someplace you find solitude. It's a place for you to rejuvenate yourself, because the energy level that you have to do what you do as a caregiver will be depleted. And if nobody or nothing is feeding it and resupplying what has already been depleted, you will be working off of fumes, and there'll be nothing left to give to your loved one. And not only that, you risk the higher risk of being emotionally and physically ill. Let's not forget this. I say it every once in a while. 67% of caregivers run the risk of being greater in illness or even death before the loved one they're caring for. It's not a joke. A lot of times, the caregiver, while they're doing all this stuff, don't even realize they're not even breathing. They hold their breath. I did that. I held my breath so much. I now intentionally do these tactical breathing methods. It seems so ridiculous, but the blood that runs through your body needs to have oxygen. And if you're not breathing, there's no oxygen, and it can do some nasty stuff in your body. I want to emphasize this last point. No judgment here at all. But it's okay to cheat a little bit, meaning order out through Grubhub. There's not, have something delivered to the house for a meal. Get frozen meals. There's no shame in that. It's about time. Time is precious. Time is a commodity that you never get back. And I encourage you, if that is easy for you, buy some, mix it up. Like when you're cooking and you cook enough, you make portions and you freeze it. Make a couple of portions of whatever it is that you're cooking and freeze that. There's really no difference if you go down to a grocery store and get a frozen food. Mix it up. They're not going to care. They'll eat it. You can even feed yourself. But there's really no shame in cheating a little bit and saying, I don't feel like cooking. I'm going to get myself, pizza. I'm going to order out and have it delivered. No shame. It's about surviving this episode, this season of life. Really. I think caregivers, from what I've learned so far and what I've experienced myself, take on a lot of guilt. It's really sad because there's so much pressure that we put on ourselves. Sometimes people on the outside put it on us too. Everybody's got a whole slew of selections of what to do and suggestions for this and suggestions for that. But the irony is they're not doing it. I'm just pointing out something. Because ultimately, the goal is to keep your loved one clean, comfortable, and safe. And ultimately, that the care is there. And that is you. Because remember, you showed up. You are the caregiver. You are there for your loved one. And for that, I applaud you. I really do. Not a lot of people can do that. I've seen way too many scenarios and situations where able-bodied adult children, able-bodied spouses, they just say, I can't deal with it. And they put them in a home. I'm like, okay, if you can afford to do that, I couldn't afford to do that. And honestly, I wouldn't do that to my mom. I couldn't. There's people out there that do that. But this is the point. I'm talking to you, the caregiver that decided to be the family caregiver, the one that decided to stay and be that person. Bravo. I hold a candle to you. And with that, I hope these little tips kind of inspired you that it's okay. It's okay. Every decision you make, it's okay. If it didn't work out, it's okay. If it worked, great. Put that in your little notebook and do it again. It's all about trial and error. But the bottom line is you showed up. And you are continually showing up. So with that, I wish you well. I always say, continue to be blessed and always be good to yourself. And I hope to see you in the next video. You take care. Hey, thanks for watching. And please remember to hit the subscribe button. We are trying to grow our channel and reach 1,000 subscribers. Now, for every new subscriber, these two nutheads right here, they're going to get a treat, so we will all be happy. Thanks for watching.